Hello, this is a tutorial on how to run my Ilokano app project. And this, again, will just be a tutorial on how to install all of those basic things that you need to run my whole project, and also just a quick run through of what this project is about. So, yeah, to start off, this is an app or an application that I've made over summer. Um, I was working on all this things and also development during summer term number one, and I am submitting this hopefully by the middle of July or just by the end of the second term of the summer. But basically, this Ilocano app is just like Duolingo, or it's inspired by Duolingo, and I'm incorporating just a language learning curriculum and just, flow of like just learning about the Ilocano language. At first, as a student under the Ilocano program, went through all those like, learning and also just the first level learning of Ilocano, and it was a life learning experience for me because you know, it's me going into my roots and just learning about my mother tongue, and much easier to just comprehend just the language itself. Yeah, that creation. And so let's just, run through everything. But first, I will just show you on how to install and just run my whole project into your local computer. So let's get right into it. Oh yeah, also, I'm gonna have pop-ups on the screen on the timestamps on you should skip to. Here is the time to go for the tutorial, and here is the time stamp for the actual just the application, or just me going to the application itself. But yeah, so to start off, this is your basic like homepage for GitHub. I embedded or developed all this through GitHub, and so open up github.com, and if you haven't already, you just have to create an account and just have a username where I could just add you as a collaborator to this. Once you've created an account, this is where you will land, or your landing page. And so you should receive an invitation from my actual GitHub account or my email that I've sent. So to access that project, you'll find it in your repository column. But if you don't see in your repository column, you can just go over here into this I guess 3 lines on top of each other, and then just look for Jafaga Ilocano Learning App, and then you just press it there. And it's okay if you don't understand any of this. Like, this is just my whole entire like development of everything, or how the app is just running. And you can look through the README file. A README file is basically just rules or just instructions, or just like any basic information that a developer includes within an actual like application that they've made, or just anything in general that the developer themselves want to like note to the actual users or people who's downloading this, which hence GitHub is basically a software or just an application where people can just share their projects with everyone else and access stuff. But yeah, you can look through that. I think I've also included the instructions here, but we'll just do this verbally. First things, before I open this whole project, please do download GitHub Desktop as well as Visual Studio Code. I will provide those download links to your actual local device here through this attachment video. But assuming that you've already downloaded those 2 applications, you'll go over code and open with GitHub Desktop. Just force open it. And wait for everything to fetch. Probably from your end, you have to clone it to your local device. So you can have it anywhere in your computer as long as you have it on your device where you're able to open it. So just clone that whole thing, and once right after when the cloning loads into your actual like desktop, this screen will pop up, or this is what your screen will look like. And from there, you will press open in Visual Studio Code. Once you open it in Visual Studio Code, it will look like this, or from my screen, this is the file that it opened first, because this is possibly the previous file that I opened lastly in my device. But for you, you will open my whole project file. But from there, once you open it, you do have to open a terminal. If your terminal hasn't popped up yet, or below over here, just hover over terminal up here and just tap on new terminal. And for someone who is running my project for the first time on their actual device, you will have to type in npm install to install all those packages that's necessary for this project. And in this case, I'm using Next.js because that was an development that I've learned during my ICS career. And so once you've typed in npm install, and once it finishes installing all those packages, all you have to do is type in npm run dev. Once you see the ready message, you can go to your local web searcher. It can be Safari or Google Chrome, but I'm going to use Google Chrome in this situation. You basically just have to copy and paste this URL into your search bar. So go to, for me, I'm going to Google Chrome. And because I've already loaded this project multiple times, I could just type localhost. But for you, just paste in the whole entire URL that's pasted or included in that text file, or that terminal text. And once you load it in, this is what your screen will look like. And this is basically you now having access to my whole project itself. So yeah, that's the whole entire tutorial of just installing or just running it into your own device. If there's anything or any errors that come up, please let me know. If not, then let's just move on to the next section of just this video, which is just basically me talking about the whole project itself, or just that. Alright, so this is the landing page. Once everything is loaded, this is what you will be looking at first. A landing page is basically just, the first thing that a user looks at or just opens right when they search up like an application or just anything. So you can go through this landing page on your own, but this is just a simple landing page. And from here you can just press on start learning, and from here you can look at all the pathways that you can take. As you can see, there are multiple units. In total, I've planned out 10 units that cover different kinds of topics, but since this is inspired by Duolingo, I made it so you're not able to access the other units until you complete the first or previous units beforehand. And so in this case, you have to start out with Unit 1, starter phrases. And from there, the user can progress through each unit as soon or as they unlocked each more and more of these lessons. But for now, let's go over Unit 1, starter phrases, and because this milestone number 2 is locked, let's go over to milestone number 1 for Unit 1. Okay, so this, the questions are randomized. You can explore all the questions that I've asked throughout this app on your own time when you're looking through everything. But for now, I'm just going to cover this first milestone in Unit 1, just so you get the whole gist of how this thing works. But yeah, you can answer all of these questions. Naibaga bigat means, what it means. History. Naibaga malam, that's afternoon. RBE, good evening. But yeah, just to show off what it looks like if someone gets an answer wrong. It's basically if for some reason I get this wrong, it will just show the correct answer and just give you an explanation to why you got your answer wrong. But yeah, you just keep on going. Here's a different section of the milestone. I've included multiple choice as well as just free response or just typing your own responses. So in this case, kumusta ka? And here's, you keep on going on. As you can see, I can still, since this is inspired by Duolingo, even if I got that question wrong, I can still go over to the next question. But, however, you're not able to go to the next milestone if you haven't gotten 100% on this milestone. So you'll see what I mean after when I finish this. See, as you can see, it's telling me that I need more practice, and so I got 8 out of 10 correct, which means that let's see, let's go back to course path. Yep, so milestone number 2 is still locked, and I have to go back to milestone number 1 to finish and complete all 10 questions just so I can unlock milestone number 2. But yeah, I did incorporate some kind of like activity or just not inspiration, just motivation for students to just keep on going by incorporating XP or just streaks or just an amount of like you just viewing how many things you've mastered so far. Just be realistic with just how the progression will work with with people. But going back to the admin feature, the reason why I included this is so you as the user or just the person who's looking at my application can just have access to just the whole curriculum path, as well as just unlocked each and every single one of these units. So obviously it's not provided, or the admin login isn't provided for the actual perspective of the student, because obviously we want the student to learn and progress. But for the developer's point of view, for my purposes, this is something I made because I need to test run and also just have access to just all the things instead of just doing every single milestone as well as unit every time. It's just restarting. But logging in, I only just made a simple just login for now, which is username is admin and password is just password. And yeah, from there you see that my overall mastery is 100%, which just means that I've unlocked every single unit, and now I can freely just go over each milestone in my own time and everything. But yeah, that basically covers everything. I know this really isn't much for now. I only just wanted to incorporate and just develop this project itself because I just needed to portray my computer science skills and incorporate my knowledge of Ilokano into my actual computer science knowledge, and so this was the result. I am open to suggestions, or I am allowing I'm allowing anyone to just give me edit suggestions to make this application better. I do, however, have other plans, or I thought about other things I wanted to incorporate in this app, such as including the panangket sango, panangket tenga, like all those things. But for now, I feel like it's best for me to just incorporate this whole entire idea set into my actual perspective, instead of just having better quality at first, because I want to get this running and get this done. But going back to the GitHub application, you can go over to projects, and go over to app development. This is all my actual planning work. Oh, I actually don't have any more backlog or just any plan edits that I want to make. But yeah, this is my whole progression. I think this is updated, but if not, it's okay because I already did it. But yeah, that's basically it for my whole entire development of this. Again, if you have any questions in regards to this, please let me know. You can text me, email me, whatever contact method that you have to me. And yeah, thank you for watching this whole entire video, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I also forgot to mention, if this is an application that will be further more developed in the future, then we can talk more about it. For now, my only knowledge and skill is in this level, but then all that knowledge of just having this as an actual application in the app store is beyond my actual skill or actual knowledge, and so I would have to learn how to do that. But then I can get mentors or just anyone to help me with this. But yeah.